Okay, so hopefully you guys have had an opportunity to put the ingredients in and the equipment. This is a kind of a quick one, easy. Most of the ingredients you might have at your home, but these are really good energy bites for like tournaments. If you had a tournament that you were going to make up a double batch, and have these available for all the players and things like that. I call them protein balls, but they're actually referred to as energy bites. So however you want to look at it, and since we're doing the nutrients that provide energy, I thought this would be a good one to share. All right. So in culinary, we call this mise en place, which means that everything is set out, ready to go, and that's how you should always do your recipes. If you have something that you're making, get everything out so that you don't have to waste time going and finding it and then realizing you don't have that ingredient. So mise en place just means that everything's out, everything's ready to go, you have all the ingredients, and you're ready, okay? So this one is, you can use, typically they call for large oats, but if you only had quick oats, that would probably be okay. They're going to be, not as energy packed because the quick oats is a little smaller. But, if that's all you had on hand, I think it would be okay to go ahead and use it. But the recipe does call for the old-fashioned oats, and you want 1.5 cups. So there's our cup, and here is the half. Okay. And then you're going to have peanut butter. You could use any peanut butter. The naturals, that's something you'll have to experiment with just because I've never made this with that type of peanut butter, so it could be making them a little bit runny, and that might be an issue. So just you could use a nut peanut butter. I would say creamy would be really good. So you could use any of those. And any kinds, except for the naturals. That's the one I would kind of be a little leery of. And then you just put it in your bowl. And then you need 1/3 cup of honey. Remember, if you want to get honey out of your measuring cup, to spray it with cooking spray, and it should slip right out when you put it in your bowl. Otherwise, use a spatula. That should do it too. And then just go ahead and add that right on top of the peanut butter and the oats. And then just try to get out as much of that honey out as possible, because that's a ingredient that's not cheap. You don't want to waste it. Okay. Then you're going to add in your little treats. So what I have is mini M&Ms and chocolate chips, but you could really put anything in here. I mean, you could do coconut, you could do cranberries, raisins, a specific nut if you like. Just make sure you mince it up so it's really small. But they're going to have you put in increments of 1/4 cup. So I got my mini chocolate chips at home. I didn't have mini, so I just put them in a bag and put a rolling pin on them and just kind of crunched them up. You can improvise if you don't have the little ones. Just improvise, make them smaller. So just kind of remember that. And then I do candy pieces. You could do Reese Pieces. You could do any type of a hard-coated candy. Some people like mint chip. You could do that. So I just do, a little bit of those, 1/4 cup. And then 1/2 teaspoon of vanilla. And this is a recipe you could very easily double if you wanted to. And then I'm going to use my wooden spoon to mix But just make sure that you, you know, don't press down too hard. You don't want to crunch up those pretty M&Ms and make them into dust. So just kind of use your wooden spoon to get it well blended, but do so in kind of a gentle manner so that you're not crushing things. And do make sure you get a well blended mixture as well. You don't want peanut butter on one side and not get a good amount of peanut butter on the other. Now, the only thing with this recipe that's hard is trying to roll a sticky consistency into a ball. So that's going to be the challenge. The best advice I can give you is roll 2 or 3 and then go wash your hands and go at it again. Okay, because it is going to be rather sticky. So just kind of keep that in mind. And you're going to want to put these, if you're going to eat them pretty soon, I would put them in the freezer for 10 minutes. If you think, oh, you did it the night before and you're like, you know, I'll just get them in the morning, I would put them in the fridge, okay? So if you're going to eat them right away, freezer, get them to set up a little faster. And if you're going to not eat them until the morning, then just go ahead and put them in the fridge. That would be great. Okay, I think we got a well consistency here. I'm going to use a cookie. It looks like a melon baller kind of, but it's a scoop. So I'm just going to go ahead and scoop. And you could, there's all different kinds of scoops out there. This kind of helps you, you know, not have to use your hands. But if you don't have one of these, you could improvise. You could use 2 spoons together, touch it less. You could use a measuring spoon. That could help you formulate balls so that you wouldn't have to use your hands. There's ways around it, but there's nothing that says you can't use your hands, you know. It's just going to be a little bit of a sticky process, and you will have to, you know, kind of wash your hands between so many of the energy bites. And then it should make, I would say, at least 12, maybe 24. And again, it depends on the size that you make them. You want them bite-sized, you want them a little bit more to where somebody might need to take 2 bites. You know, you got to think of your audience and what you have available to feed and the quantity. Like if I had a ton of people, I'd make them smaller because they would go further. But if I only had 4 people that I was going to feed these to, then I'd make them bigger just because, you know, there's not as many people that need to eat them. I got 20. Not quite 24, but pretty darn close. Okay, and then, like I said, you're going to put them in the refrigerator for about an hour, I'd say. If you want to eat them right away, you'll have to wait an hour. Not to say that you couldn't sneak them earlier, but they might crumble in your hands. And if you're going to eat them and want them immediately, then a 10-minute freezer job will do the trick. I made some last night that I had in the refrigerator all night. And those are the ones that I made that I'm going to pass out to you. I miss anybody? Okay, so I have 2. I have 10 extras, so if you decide that you like them and want them, I'm going to put them over here. Okay, so there's more over here if you want them. And then what I need you guys to work on is the sheets that we started yesterday. So hold on, I'm trying to stop recording here.